I just wanted to show off some of the stuff I've been working on in the studio lately. This is the incredible Hope Morgan with Colin and Caroline backing her up. They're doing a cover of Lord Huron's The Night We Met. I just love what they did here. Now, before I go any further, I would just like to point out that I don't consider myself to really be a lap steel player. You're not going to find me at any jam sessions or gigs playing this thing, but I know what I need to do in the studio to get what I want. And when they brought me this song to mix, they sent me the video, and I paired up the video in Pro Tools so that I could mix it looking at the video because I wanted to make sure the sound was matching this beautiful video. There were a couple sections in the video that seemed like it was a memory. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to do something there to kind of evoke that. And I've got this thing that I do with the pedal steel or the lap steel often where I'll layer it and do some cool things to it that just kind of is like an ambient sound. And I thought it'd be cool to try. So I hit him up and I said, hey, can I try this idea out? If you don't like it, it's totally cool. It's a great excuse for me to get to play and have some fun. So I tried it out and I sent it to them and they really liked it and it ended up in the mix, which I'm really honored that it's in there. Let me explain to you a little bit about what I'm doing with this. It's kind of a wacky thing. I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but let me show you what I do. So normally when I'm doing this sort of thing, I'm using one of two lap steels that I have around the studio. This here is a really old Gibson student model. I like this thing. It's got a really sassy tone to it. It just doesn't have the sustain I needed for this song. This thing I don't actually own this thing. I've been borrowing this for about 10 years from my friend drummer Rick Austin, who just always seems to have a lot of gear. Eventually, he's probably going to want this back. What I used on this one was this here that my wife bought for me for Christmas about 2 years ago. I like it. Nothing really that fancy, but it's got a thicker tone and nice sustain on it. And then I run it into, it's a little booster. Now, I don't actually know where I got this from. It's just one of these things that I found around the studio. I'm not really even sure what it's for. I think it might be a mandolin preamp. It said preamplifier, so I was like, oh, must boost the signal. So I put a battery in it and it worked. But I like the tone of this thing. It's pretty cool. Normally I use an amplifier with my lap steel. This time I wanted it to sound a little older and a little more mellow. So I'm using this germanium right here. I'm going into the distressor right here. And as you can see, I'm pegging that sucker pretty hard. Look at the level there. I'm hitting the distressor really hard at a 10-to-1 ratio. Pretty fast attack, pretty fast release. I don't actually own a volume pedal. I keep meaning to buy one, but unfortunately, I only ever remember when I need to record something. So then I get into it and I forget. So anyway, so what I do is I record a collage of notes that I play on the lap steel one at a time on different tracks and stack them up. And I end up with something that looks like this. It's going to look a little wacky. So it'll sound like this. I'll put everything together and it'll be like this. Sounds a little dry and a little weird and all that. It's like these are just the raw pieces here. But let me show you a couple things that I'm doing. This thing gets pretty good sustain, but not quite enough. And I'm always trying to extend the notes because I just want them to go really long. And sometimes I can just punch in. But a lot of times what I like to do is just flip it and I'll reverse it. So it'll get something like this. That's where I see it's just a backwards version of that, right? And then I think I did it up. Oh, I did it right here on this one. Same thing. It's just like little long note. Flipped it backwards right here. But it also does a neat thing when you flip it backwards. It kind of gives it this shape because it's normally going to be a little brighter, get slightly darker, and then you can make it get bright again. And then looking through this session, because I actually recorded this a while ago, I realized that what I'd done is when I was recording these, I was just playing with my fingers. But I did 2 tracks where I was actually apparently using an E-bow. I actually did this. I can get as much sustain as I want out of these things. I can go on forever. And it's a different tone, you know, but look how long. That's the E-bow just playing, you know. Ooh, that's a great tone right there. Ooh, I should have used that section. Sounds like car horns, you know, but it can be powerful. So anyway, I drop these in there like that, cut them up, and then I start putting fades on things. I want a different attack. I'm going to just kind of replicate what I had. I'll switch over to the real one in a second. But, you know, start going through, and I want everything to fade in. I'll put big crossfades on sections. So then you end up with more of this sort of thing. Then I put a little reverb on it. Valhalla Supermassive. This plugin, you gotta try this thing out. Check this out. I love this reverb. Then I add another reverb. I added this. So I got both of these going. I could listen to reverb forever and ever and ever. I don't think I can outstare this reverb. Stop! Anyway. Oh my God, what have I done? Woo! These things are dangerous. Oh shit, I gotta revert my session. I totally fucked up what I was doing here. Hold on. Jeez, I haven't done this in a while. I'll revert to saved. So anyway, this is what I actually ended up with. This is how I had all my fades. Let me play it with the music so I can get on with this and put the reverb back on.
I've been searching